What is up, cool cats of the interwebs? It is your girl Haley back at it again with another episode of the pre-review crew. Now we are into a new year, which is absolutely fantastic. It's our first episode of 2022. Well, our first full episode of the pre-review crew for 2022. But you know what I mean. So, kicking it over to the cast on the couch, we have our normal gang of guys as usual. We have Brennan.
Hello.
And we have Mike.
What's up?
We got some great games to talk about this month, especially the games coming out in February. We don't really have anything to review, well, because not much has come out yet. So it's going to be a short episode, and we are going to talk about the great month of February, because, well, everything amazing happens in February, apparently. We're first going to kick it off over to the King of Fighters 15. It's a single and multiplayer fighting game. It's developed and published by SNK. It's coming out on PC, PS4, PS5, and the Xbox Series X. It releases a couple days after Valentine's Day on the 17th. So if you are single this year, you can always take your frustration out on some online characters.
Yeah, this is I think 2022 is gonna be a great year for fighting game fans. Voice crack. And this is just like one of those things I think people who love fighting games should be looking forward to. I didn't participate in the beta. I wasn't able to get in that weekend. But I watched a lot of it, and it looks great. It looks like if you like King of Fighters, this is definitely going to be your game. So I mean, no, there were some issues with online during the beta, but the SNK did say that they're going to be fixing that. And it's going to be rollback netcode. I know right now that's like everybody wants that in their fighting games. King of Fighters 15 will have rollback. Yeah.
Oh no, I mean, I'm realizing now that this is where Terry's from. Terry's from King of Fighters.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, yeah. Now I knew that this franchise was familiar to me somehow, but I didn't really put two and two together. I was thinking maybe that this is where Terry was from, but I didn't want to say anything, but confirmed it, yeah. So, as someone who knows nothing about King of Fighters, like, straight up, I didn't look at a whole lot of this just because I wanted to ask you all my questions. Is this like Street Fighter fighting, or is this like Marvel versus Capcom fighting, where I guess it's, I guess the question really is this a one-on-one fighter, or is this like a tag team fighter?
Both.
How does this all go down? It's both. Okay.
Yeah, you can do single player, or you can do 3v3.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Because that's how King of Fighters 14, I would play single matches. I would play some 3v3, but I mostly enjoyed the single player and or single command fighter, and that's what this is gonna have. So
cool. Okay. And again, kind of ignorant on fighting games. I've dabbled. But is this like Street Fighter in terms of not exactly having a main campaign? Well, I guess kind of having a main campaign. I guess Street Fighter sort of had that a little bit. Like each character would have different characters that they would go against, and at the end they'd have a little cutscene. Or is this like Mortal Kombat, like recent Mortal Kombats, where it's one cohesive actual story behind it all?
shit. I think this is like the end of the story that's been going on for a few games now.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So I guess that's more similar to something like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And what they've been doing recently. Okay. You brought up the netcode. I feel like that's super, super important. Everyone loves to hear that their fighting games are not shit in terms of lag. Like I feel like most fighting games are just P2P, which doesn't really lend itself to good times all the time, because if someone doesn't have a good connection, it's just ruined for everyone. So
yeah, people are tired of delay based netcode. So
yeah,
this having rollback is a big thing, because right now that's like if a game's coming out or if a game's still popular, that's what everybody's rollback, because like Dragon Ball Fighters is delay based, And so that's why right now everybody's screaming for rollback. They're adding rollback to some older to some older Blaze Blue games. When they announced that, people went crazy because they were like, "Holy shit, we're finally gonna have rollback in these games." We enjoy because rollback is supposed to be smoother. It's supposed to be it's smoother, and it just works better. If you're not wired in and you're a Wi-Fi warrior, rollback is better for that. You like that
I
term?
love that. Yeah, I love that. I don't think I've
Wi-Fi
ever heard that
warrior.
before. Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So
I love that.
yeah. So rollback should help for a smoother gameplay experience online. I'm excited for that. This game, it was supposed to come out last year, got delayed, and I was like, damn it, because I've been waiting for this for a while since they announced it back in like what was it, 2018 or something like that. Um,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, so I've been waiting for this for a while. So this is one of the first games of the year I'm really excited for.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah, I think when I was reading a little bit on this, I think I saw it had an initial release date of like mid-November. I think I could be wrong there. So yeah. How often do these games come out? Because I'm looking at something right now, and it says since its debut in 1994. So there's been a long-running series. They're already at 15. So it's like, how often do they come out? Like you mentioned that it was announced back in 2018. So I guess I'm just wondering, like,
Yeah,
has to be like every what, 3, 4 years, maybe? I don't know.
usually about 4 or 5 years.
4, 5.
King of
Okay.
Fighters 14 come out in 2016.
Wow. All right. Well, okay. Geez. So I mean, that's a considerable amount of time.
Yeah, yeah.
But shit, that's really cool. I mean, this looks. I mean, again, as someone who doesn't play fighting games all the time, and I'm not super familiar with the franchise, the first thing right off the bat is the art style just looks really cool. Like in terms of 3D fighting, I don't know. Just I think that was the thing that drew me in the most. I mean, obviously, it's probably the easiest thing to draw you in, just how clean everything looks. But I like the UI too. There's something about the UI that just it's I don't know. It just seems really unique. I don't know. It doesn't look. It looks like retro futuristic almost. Weird.
To me, it looks clean, which I like.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
like fighting games with like cluttered UIs, but yeah, the UI for this looks really nice. Looks really clean. Allows for a lot of the 3D artwork to really shine. Because
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
game look like visually, this game is really nice. Because 14 is where they went from sprite based to like 3D character models, and it looked
Oh,
good then. But this, like, just watching, like I said, I was watching the beta. This is like, just looks amazing in motion.
yeah, like some of these effects just look insanely good, especially in terms of like the art style that they're going for. It just looks really cool, and the environments too. The stages look
Yeah.
really just eye popping. I don't know. They're very varied. They don't. None of them look similar to each other. I don't know. This looks pretty cool. Trying to think of. There's another big fighting game that came out sort of recently, like within the past couple months, I think. Oh, Guilty Gear, right? Guilty Gear, was that the last big one?
Yeah, it came out
Yeah,
last year.
right. Yeah. Again, I mean, I know I've just had friends that have played Guilty Gear, so it's like I'm curious to see if those same friends would be willing to pick up King of Fighters as well. Um,
Um, yeah, I would say if you like Guilty Gear, to give King of Fighters a chance. If you like Guilty Gear, if you like Street Fighter, like the more basic. I don't want to say basic because those games do have a lot of like crazy mechanics.
no, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, if you like those kinds of games, then yeah, King of Fighters is your thing. If you prefer something more flashy like Dragon Ball Fighters, obviously I would say stick with Dragon Ball Fighters. But if you're looking just for something simple and fun, King of Fighters 15. I mean, if you can't tell, I'm excited, but because it's just another great fighter for me to pick up because that's my thing is fighters. So
Right. Yeah. This and the I think lastly the looking at 39 playable fighters. That is a relatively large roster. I feel like.
yeah, I don't remember how many characters were in 14.
I'm reading some classic popular characters, heroes and villains, revived from the dead, new challengers, and more. That sounds really cool. I don't know. I'm always a big fan of like bringing old favorites back. Um,
Yeah.
so I remember there was I don't I think there was one Street Fighter title I was playing and Vega just wasn't in it for whatever reason. Maybe it was because it was like an old remaster of like Street Fighter 2. I don't remember if Vega was in that one. Um, for those who don't know, it's the guy with the mask and the claws.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty boy.
yeah, I don't know. I liked him for some reason. It was really cool. There was a bunch of characters that I sort of fell for, but then again, I really only played it's like Ultra Street Fighter 2, and then I dabbled in Street Fighter 4 back in the day. Uh, but I don't know. I feel like I've always the my biggest fighting game experience was, and I guess this is kind of basic of me in a way, but it was the Dragon Ball Z Budokai games.
I love those games.
Those I love those games so much. They were so good, and they only got better. And then when they made the jump to the arena fighter with, I think that was Budokai Tenkaichi. I think that's when they made that jump. It was good, but it's I don't know. For me, it wasn't like I felt like it was more in line with the anime, you know, having that free roaming, flying around sort of deal. But there was just something about the feet on the ground, Street Fighter style fighting that I really enjoyed. And then there was a couple Naruto games that followed that as well.
The new
Uh,
part.
I did play those, but those were also like arena fighters. They did have I can't remember what it was called for the life of me. I want to say Rise of Ninja, but I'm not sure if that was the title. But there
I
was a
have to look that
Naruto
up.
game
Yeah.
that was Street Fighter esque. But then yeah, Rise of Ninja, or no, excuse me, Ultimate Ninja Storm was the arena fighters, which I played. I thought they were okay. I feel like I was just playing them more to re-experience the anime instead of sitting through 700 episodes. But yeah, a very limited fighting game experience for me, but it's still cool to see. I don't know. I'm always big on Evo, right? Yeah, I think it's Evo, like the big fighting game conventions. You
Oh
know,
yeah, Evo. Yeah,
yeah,
that's like the if you wanna I just blanked. Yeah, that's the big fighting game tournament. Like that's where the kings are made.
right. Yeah, I love watching those. They're so hype. They're so hype. Like it's insane. I remember my cousin and I once were watching professional Street Fighter on like I think it was I want to say it was like a like ESPN 8 or something ridiculous. You know, it was one of ESPN's smaller channels, but it was just insane to be watching Street Fighter like on TV, and I loved it. Like there's just something about that, and I like it. I like watching fighting games more than playing them so much that like, do you know Mugen, Mike? Like Salty Bet on Twitch.
No.
Oh, okay. Everyone, do yourself a favor and look up Salty Bet on Twitch. It is essentially every character from everything ever sort of put into sprite form and randomly chosen. And there's like two fighters, and they're thrown into a ring, and you basically just kind of bet fake money on who you think is gonna win, like red or blue or whatever.
Like an
And
underground
it's
fighting
just
ring or something?
yeah, literally of all of your favorite characters from everything ever. Like you can have like Mickey Mouse go up against like Peter Griffin, like or Sasuke versus uh 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 I don't know why I can't think of any other like I don't know Aaron Yeager. I don't maybe I don't know. Mugen is insane. Mugen is like fighting software that sort of makes Salty Bet run. But I love watching fighting games so much more than actually playing them. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I enjoy both. I watch NLBC on YouTube. I watch Evo every year that it's on.
Mm.
But I do like to jump on, and see how far I can get in rank before I start getting my ass handed to me. So
That's awesome though. I'm excited for King of Fighters 15. This just looks like
yeah,
another it just looks really fun to watch, honestly. And again, that's I guess what I'm looking for the most. But I can't say no to another nice looking, smooth playing fighting game, you know?
Oh yeah.
There have been so many of these King of Fighter games. Would you say that this is sort of like the OG fighter game?
Oh, this was Smash Brothers before Smash Brothers was a thing. This came out a few years before Smash Bros. Because it's SNK, but they still are a prolific game developer. Especially in the '90s, they were huge in the '90s, and that's what they did was they just took a bunch of characters from all their different games and threw them in an arena to fight each other, and King of Fighters was born. Um, so this has been kind of like for years one of the top fighting games. If you play fighting games, you knew what King of Fighters was.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, after after we all duke it out in the arena, if you're not into fighting games and but you still want to kill things or at least, hurt things, you can kill some robotic monsters or animals, however you see it, in Horizon Forbidden West. It's a single player action RPG. It's developed by Guerrilla Games and it's published by Sony. It's coming out on the PS4 and PS5 the day after the King of Fighters 15 on February 18th. If you like the first game, you're automatically probably going to love the second game. The story is great, the setting is great, the game is absolutely gorgeous. They have a whole bunch new monsters because Aloy is moving, or Aloy, I think is how you pronounce it, is moving out west to some new areas. So it'll be interesting to see all the new settings, the new animals, or beasts, whatever you want to call them. I'm just super excited. I'm very excited.
I never played the first one. I read the comic book, but I never actually played the game.
There was a comic book. Why am I so behind?
Yeah, there's a comic book. I only bought it just because of the cover artwork was like really nice, and then after reading it, I was like, oh, this is actually interesting. This is pretty cool. Um, but yeah, this no, I've been keeping my eye on this one just to see if it's as big and beautiful as the first one, and this one looks like it's gonna be really cool. Especially because the environments are gonna be a bit different because she's moving. I think it's alloy, like the metal. Um, she's moving, west, so there's going to be a lot more different biomes for her to explore. And some of those new animals look really cool. Like I think there's a crocodile now that looks like really badass.
I think that's one of the things that I like is that they are moving her to a different territory and like a different area, so there's going to be new people and new monsters, or whatever you want to, I don't know what to call them. I guess animals.
Yeah.
Cuz they're made out of machine parts, but I think that's so cool because it gives them a whole new area to work with. And they're not just keeping her within the same area and basically like reskinning it. So I'm excited to see where this one goes. I didn't follow the first one super closely, but I remember watching it and playing a little bit of it and really enjoying myself. So I'm very curious about this one. Plus, like, the whole action scenes with her are like super crazy and like super fucking cool. Especially when she has to go up against like a giant beast that's 10 times her size. Like it absolutely insane.
I think that's something Sony's really good at. With their smaller studios and stuff is just the action. Like when I think of games like Uncharted, just those action scenes, are totally out there and just really enjoyable. And I can imagine Horizon does the same thing.
I
I
definitely. Oh, go ahead, Brennan. Sorry.
oh no, it's totally okay. I picked this up on sale, like I think easily a couple years after it released. The first one, I mean. And at first, I remember thinking like, "Wow, this is hard as shit." Like I had such a hard time getting into it for whatever reason, and I don't remember the moment that it happened, but I just remember a moment where like everything sort of clicked, and I was like, "This is one of the best games Sony has come out with in a long time." Like, it was really fun, really good. I don't really remember how the story left off though. That's my only thing. I mean, I vaguely remember it, but I guess it's been a while since I've last played it. It was like a year or two ago, but based off of how this looks and the trailers look really cool. I like how not only are there new environments and new enemies, but seems to be a lot of new tools at Aloy's in her little metaphorical tool belt. Um, yeah, I don't know, because I was watching some trailer where she like pulls out this like weird looking glider thing, and like this other one looked like she had like a grappling hook or whatever. So it just was more ways, I guess, of traversal than the first one, and I'm always a sucker for cool traversal mechanics. Honestly, like you throw in a grappling hook in anything, and I think it's automatically better than something without said grappling hook. So that's an instant win. Yeah,
Oh,
no, I'm
I was gonna say we'll throw a grappling hook in a Danganronpa for you.
do it. I do it, and I'm sure it'll be better. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm not too familiar with Danganronpa, but like to the point where I'm not even sure if adding a grappling hook would even do anything. Because I don't think I don't I don't I'm gonna plead the fifth because I don't want to look like an idiot. But yes, probably it would be better with a grappling hook. Persona was better with a grappling hook. Come on, be real. Um, but yeah, no, I'm excited for this. I don't know if this is something that I would pick up immediately day one, but it is something that I would like to play in the future because again, yeah, like you pretty much said it best. If you like the first one, chances are you're gonna like this one. Um, the only thing though, I guess I'm a bit iffy on, and again, this is because I can't really remember how this story left off, but it's like I don't know if people jumping into this without playing the first one, I don't know how well they'll be recapped. Um, but then again, that's just me not remembering the story at all, or even if the first game story even really matters. I mean, it does. I remember the big points, big moments, specifically about like Ayla's mother. You know, that's a big plot point. Because obviously she has to have a mom, right? Because she's a person. But I guess it's sort of similar to God of War, where like they sprinkle in the oh you got to find your mom, then the whole game is sort of like based around that and figuring out why and how and who my mother is. It was cool. It was cool. The whole premise is also really interesting. I mean, yeah, I guess I can't even really talk about the premise without spoiling everything. But yeah, having monsters be robots and you fighting them with arrows is it's really dope, especially towards the end when the monsters get like really big and you're just taking them down one after the other. It's a very satisfying feeling, especially once you sort of understand like the elemental weakness mechanic and you start bringing down the big ones like real fast. When maybe an hour before they were tossing you around like you were nothing. It's a very gratifying feeling. So yeah, this looks good. I hope that this adds to the PS5's library in a very nice way because it's been very dry recently. So hopefully this is a nice entry point for the year. You know what I mean? They're starting off on a good foot. Horizon.
I
So
sort of think that with COVID, I feel like Sony probably told everyone, hey, take your time. We're going to push everything back. Don't rush it. Because, I mean, and we've said this before, I have definitely said it before. You can't sell PS5 video games if you don't have PS5 in your consumers' hands. So, them not releasing a lot of specifically like PS5 games, I feel like this year that's going to explode because a lot more consumers have the PS5 now. So I feel like we're going to see a lot more great PS5 games, especially exclusives. Being that Returnal, I'm pretty sure was like one of the only major PS5 games that came out.
That one and Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. So, two out of a whole year. I feel like Sony definitely has some big things up their sleeve this year, and we are going to get pummeled with video games.
I hope so. I hope
Yeah.
you're so right.
But before we carry on the conversation, we have to take a quick commercial break for Gamer Juice.
And it's not as fun anymore, you know?
God damn it.
It's like when you hated it, it was a lot more fun. But now when you're openly like accepting it, I don't know. I
I've
don't know.
ruined it.
You ever just feel like so dejected when you think that your idea is a good thing, and then it's just actually just people start thinking it's a good thing.
I've
Well,
never
you need
felt
some
that way.
gamer juice. You need
Oh!
some. Well, Haley, you need some gamer juice. Oh, and this month we got a new flavor. It's called CEO Tears.
What does it taste like?
Tears.
Sadness. Just absolute pure distilled sadness. You know, it's like you ever just you ever just be such a piece of shit CEO and like sweep sexual allegations on the rug only to have some big ass company just buy your company, and then you get this really big fuck off paycheck, and then you never have to work a day in your life, and you have to wipe away your tears with Benjamin Franklin paper on it? That kind of sadness.
Wow.
That's gamer juice, at least for this month. Next month's flavor is I gotta check my notes. Um, wow, it's just raspberry lemonade. I can't do that. Oh, this is just a receipt. Never mind.
For gamer juice.
Sorry, for gamer juice. Yeah, for a lifetime supply of gamer juice. What? Whoa, we're having a contest? Giveaway. Who wants a lifetime supply of gamer juice? Well, if you do, you gotta comment below where if you had a lifetime supply of gamer juice, where would you put it? Because and this can't be an answer, but this is where I would put it. I would get an above ground pool, no ladder, and a diving board, and I would just fill it the whole thing with gamer juice, and I wouldn't even go in. I would just look at it because I feel like you'd be so sticky if you went in,
Is
because
this
there's
something you do
just
to like your Sims in your free time?
oh, take the ladder out. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't work anymore like that. I forget which Sims game it was. It was either 2 or 3 where they can just get up out of the pool like normal people without the ladder. And that really killed my immersion because I only personally use ladders to get out of pools. So yeah, that really sucked. Now you got to be more creative when you kill them. Like, you know, make a small square house. Tell them to bake a cake in the stove, and then you go into build mode and you rotate the stove facing the wall so that they can't pull it out. And they're just standing there for like what feels like hours, and then the whole plot just catches fire. You ever do that? You ever? Just me?
Oh, okay. So,
Thanks, everybody. Teaching people how to murder for 20 years.
jeez. I just want to thank Brennan for being our Gamer Juice representative and bringing us that fine commercial break. Everyone go check out Gamer Juice. This month's flavor, CO
CEO tears.
CEO Tears. It's a great flavor. It'll definitely bring down your mood if that's what you're looking for. But the last thing that we want to talk about, since this is a pretty short episode, seeing as we don't have any games to review for January, we are going to talk about
Time? Is it time?
time for what?
Brennan.
Come on,
Time.
say it. Say it.
It's time.
Say the name, Haley. Say it.
Funny
Hey, come
thing
on.
is I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
What? It's Elden Ring, baby.
Oh my
It's
god!
Elden. It's Elden Lord of the Rings. Come on.
This
to
is
you
so
by-
funny because I forgot that there was a third game.
Oh my god.
What are you talking? It's on the paper.
Okay. Apparently my
What?
brain just doesn't like Elden Ring because it wanted to skip right over it. But we're now going to talk about Elden Ring before Brennan finds me and murders me. It's a single player and co-op action RPG. It's developed by From Software and published by Bandai Namco. It's coming out on everything besides the Switch, so PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. It's coming out on February 25th. And I'm going to stop talking now so Brendan can go on a rant.
First off, I can't believe you. I'm
I got so
absolutely
distracted by the
baffled.
commercial.
Baffled. This one wants to skip it, and there's literally nothing else on the document to skip to. I'm beyond baffled. Anyway, I have to forget that even happened by talking for 10 minutes.
Take a sip of
This is
water.
gonna be the best game ever made. Period. Hands down. That's it. That's all I wrote. My
That's
notes.
all you gotta say.
Yeah. No, but for real, I am. I don't think I've been excited for a game in such a long time. We're not gonna count Cyberpunk because we're just not.
What's
And I
Cyberpunk?
know, yeah,
I'm
exactly.
gonna forget it.
Cyberpunk who? Cyber what?
Exactly.
Cyberpunk 2020 shit? I don't know. Whatever. This is not gonna be that. Okay, I'm telling you right now. Because it's already had. I don't know if it was one or two. Like I don't even think it was called a stress test or a beta. It was kind of just shown off to select amount of people, or maybe it was invite only. Whatever. People have had their hands on this, right? And I've been watching religiously. Okay, maybe not watching, but more listening because I kind of want to, savor all of the exploration. Because that's what a lot of the Dark Souls, the Sekiro, the Bloodborne, a lot of the game is really just about exploration, seeing where you're going to go next. And I'm so intrigued by the open world concept because at first I was like, I don't think it's gonna work. I love you FromSoft, but I'm not sure about this. But literally everyone and their mother who's had their hands on this says it's real good. It's real fun to explore and just go wherever and take your little spectral horse and double jump places. I'm really looking forward to it. The cool thing is for me though is that I haven't played Dark Souls 3 and I feel like a lot of people are, if they're going to compare to any Dark Souls iteration, it's most likely going to be 3 just in terms of how it plays mechanically, right? So there was a change in Dark Souls 3 where your number of Estus flasks can sort of be exchanged for, I don't know what they're called, but it's essentially your mana equivalent of an Estus flask. And I believe that same mechanic is coming back to Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring also sort of builds upon the Dark Souls 3 mechanic of, again, I'm not quite sure what it's called because I didn't touch Dark Souls 3, but it's like sword arts, special moves that you can sort of do rather than your box standard light and heavy attacks. So I think that's all well and good. And for as cool as the open world mechanic and concept is, there still seems to be that very, very rigid and very thoughtfully crafted and designed dungeon level design, just that Dark Souls is known for. Maybe not so much. I mean, I guess it's, if we're really gonna expand on it, maybe it's sort of similar to the interconnectedness of Dark Souls 1 in a light way. I'm not quite sure because hands on it, but there have been trailers showing off, the this is a sort of quote level, if you will, and it just seems like FromSoft at their very best. A lot of people have been quick to say that it sort of builds upon almost every mechanic that these people have worked on, from Sekiro's stealth to, again, Dark Souls 3's many new quality of life mechanics, the interconnectedness of Dark Souls 1, maybe the sort of expansiveness of Bloodborne. I feel like a lot of people haven't really made many comparisons to Bloodborne, at least from my knowledge. But yeah, I'm really really looking forward to Elden Ring. I cannot really stress that enough. And it's cool that George R. R. Martin is not the main writer, but was sort of put in charge of not driving the vehicle, if you will, but he was merely a passenger who was sort of navigating the driver in a way. And I think that's really cool. God only knows where we'd be if this man was actually in charge of writing the narrative. The game wouldn't come out ever if that were the case. Sorry, big guy, but let's be real. Um, yeah, not to knock him, but still. Um, yeah. I there was one article saying that the producer of Elden Ring says it's quote perfect for people who were stressed out by Dark Souls, and you know, I want to imagine that the many quality of life mechanics that have been built upon with each iteration and have only been built upon further with Elden Ring are the cause of that. But I'm calling it now. I almost guarantee it because this happens with every FromSoft game ever. When this game releases, I imagine the discussion of do FromSoft games need an easy mode? If I had a bingo board, I would put that on my bingo. You know what I mean? Like it's probably gonna happen. I don't see it really not happening. I mean, the producer can say it's perfect for people who are stressed out by Dark Souls all he wants, but that won't stop people from complaining about how difficult the game is at its core. And it's supposed to be. That's the whole point. It's not inherently supposed to be difficult, but the whole design philosophy behind the original Demon Souls and Dark Souls was to create an experience that made you feel like you were overcoming a challenge. And the only way to do that is to make something inherently difficult. Like, riding a bike the first time isn't exactly the easiest thing to do, but when you do it, it feels amazing, right? Like, there's so many different concepts that we can draw from life that are like that. But when you're handed a free sandwich, you don't really feel great. You don't feel like you've accomplished much, right? It's just not the same. So really quick, if that discussion does come up, and I don't know, I feel like I'm shoehorning this in here to just hear my own voice talk more, but no, the games don't need an easy mode. Period. It would take away so much of the core philosophy of the game, and yeah, I don't know. The game does have each game has sort of built-in easy mode quote mechanics. And I feel like Elden Ring is probably no exception to that too, especially because we know how co-op sort of works. And even in Elden Ring, like you cannot be invaded unless you're playing co-op with someone. So right off the bat, if someone joins your game, right off the bat, it's a 2v1. So there's no even there you can't even have the complaint of like, oh well, people invade me and they kick my ass. No, that's done here. They've removed that. So I don't know. And this is coming from someone who just finished Sekiro like not a couple months ago. And I went and 100% in Bloodborne. I went 100% in Demon Souls. Like these games are challenging. I won't take that away from anyone. But my goodness, when you feel like you've accomplished killing Ornstein and Smo by yourself for the first time, I cannot tell you the level of excitement that that's given me. I feel like nothing, this is going to sound really sad, nothing in my life has come close to that level of excitement. I did like a flip onto my bed. I jumped around and screamed. I was so happy to kill Ornstein and Smo. But then my apartment gets approved or I get a new job and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. Maybe it's just because I'm a basement dweller, piece of shit. But fuck, I don't know. I really like these games. I don't know if I mean that fair. I'm so sorry for talking so much about this. I just, I, it's good. It's some good stuff. I hope this is game of the year, baby. I hope it's game of the year. Hope it's game of the decade. If this is the new Dark Souls, I hope people are gonna be like, oh, this is the Elden Ring of fighting games. Like that would be cool. I don't think it's gonna happen, but that would be cool. That would be cool because I'm done. Sorry, someone's got to stop me. Someone's got to just pull the mic. I know you can't physically do that, but
Mike, start talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna burst Brennan's bubble right here.
oh no.
I'm just not a fan of this subgenre, the Souls subgenre. I played Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1 and 2, Code Vein, and Bloodborne. Um, and I just can't get into that subgenre. But what I will say is I was watching the trailer before we jumped on for this recording, and this game looks beautiful. Like, I was impressed, because, you play other games, and they're just, like, super dark and gloomy, Batman-ish and shit like that. But this game impressed me with its looks. Like it looks like a very visually appealing game. I do like, that they are doing things like, you can't invade just anybody because that shit annoyed me in Dark Souls 1. But, I I do have people who are like really, really excited for this game, and just reading the articles on it and looking at the trailers, I can see why. I think if you are a fan of the Souls subgenre, I really do think this is probably going to be right up your alley. Just the way King of Fighters 15, like fighting game fans are definitely waiting for that. I think Elden Ring has been one of those games where people who love the challenge, people who love this type of game, are going to be really excited, and it's looking like they're going to be really satisfied as well.
And I
Um,
hope so.
I mean, it seems like a lot of people definitely are. I don't really have much to say because I never played them because all I heard was people saying that they are hard. So I'm just like, do I want to be one of those people that picks up this game and can't even play halfway through it because they're just not good at it and then they give up and then feel like they wasted their money? So I mean, I feel like you're definitely going to have people who say it's just way too hard. And I mean, the only
It's the
thing I have to
fucking
say to that is
point.
just get better. Like get better, don't play it. Like there's going to be things that you just aren't good at, and just because you're not good at it doesn't mean that it's the game's fault. Like it's just your fault for not doing it well. So, I mean, if you already know that Dark Souls or Demon Souls or Bloodborne is something that you're just bad at or you're just not into, don't pick this game up and then bitch about it.
Amen. Yeah, and I agree. I don't want to. I don't know. I feel like the common joke is get good, but I mean there's it's that's the whole point. Like there's especially in Dark Souls 1, there's this whole narrative plot point where it's called going hollow, right? And that's when you lose your sanity completely. A lot of the enemies that you fight in the game have gone hollow, essentially. That's why they're attacking you. And a lot of the characters in the game will, reference that, and they'll say, stuff like, don't go hollow, or like, best you not go hollow, however the hell they say it in their weird old English. But it's really kind of a reflection on the person playing it. Like all of the people that didn't finish Dark Souls have quote essentially gone hollow, right? Like they've given up. They've lost their sanity. They put the controller down and they've given up. And it's really just a test of seeing like can you keep picking up the controller when you're put down? This is going to sound really really dumb and I know how dumb this sounds, but I feel like Dark Souls, I don't know. I'll always give Dark Souls a lot of credence in my personal life just because Dark Souls kind of taught me that like I can and will continue to throw my head at something a million times until I finish it or until I get it the way that I want it to. And that's just a nice feeling. It's a nice confirmation of the kind of person that I am. Not everyone's like that. And that's fine. Whatever. But it's just kind of nice to know that like I won't stop unless I do the thing that I want to do. And it's genuinely helped me in my personal life. Like if I view it that way, it certainly has because life is fucking hard sometimes. Like it just is. And you gotta do it every day. No one tells you that you gotta do life every day, but you do. So like I don't every day I pick up the controller, right? Like I'm never just gonna not do that. And it's also just nice when I'm going through something difficult and I look back and go, man, I beat Ornstein and Smell by myself. If I can do that, and people say that's super hard, how come I can't get this documented on time or some dumb shit? I know it sounds ridiculous, but it genuinely has sort of helped me in that, you know, I can push through shit. And, if you can sort of sit down and do that yourself, I feel like you kind of in a way. Like I'm watching my mom play some indie game right now, and she's going through something very similar to what I had kind of gone through in Dark Souls. Like she'll get super frustrated that she can't beat this level. and she'll be like, I hate this game. Like, it's stupid. I hate it. But every night when I go downstairs, she's just chipping away at it. And eventually one day I know she'll get it and she'll feel fucking amazing. And that's the whole point. Doesn't matter if you're playing Dark Souls or an indie game. It's just the mentality you kind of have to have going into it. Am I willing to put down the controller when I'm frustrated? Some people are, some people aren't. And yeah, I got really deep and philosophical. I'm so sorry for that. That's not usually how this shit goes, but that's a little insight into why I like the series so much. I feel like it really has helped me in the dumbest way possible.
But I think games should give us a challenge. I think every game though gives us a different type of challenge. And that's how I think it should be, because if you're not getting better at a game, like what's really the point of playing it? Um, and Elden Ring, in the whole Dark series and Dark and Soul series, it's its own challenge. JRPGs and fighting games, that's what I play. They all have their own type of challenge. King of Fighters 15. I'm gonna have this can be a challenge because I'm gonna be trying to get better and better. But like you said, you sit there to get better and better and better. And I feel that for the Soul series, it's the same thing. You sit there and you get better and better and better. Because I know the first 10 hours you're bashing your head into a wall because shit's just so hard. But then you get the flow and you get to it. And then like you said, you beat the bosses that, are supposed to be these super hard, super, critical bosses, and you feel good. And that's the point, is you're supposed to get better. And that's what these games are good at. Is it starts off where you want to throw your controller across the room, but you get better. And I think that's really essential for these games. And I think hopefully Elden Ring, gives people that sort of experience and that kind of feeling.
I 100%, 100% agree.
It's like Brennan said when he was talking about Horizon Zero Dawn. He found it challenging at first, and then eventually something clicked. And that's gonna happen. You're gonna play a game, you're gonna sit there, you're gonna try new things, you're gonna fail, and then eventually you're going to try something. It's just gonna work, and everything sort of just clicks together, and you're just like, wow, like it all makes sense now. And you sort of just have to stick to it. Like, you can't expect video games to hold your hand. They're
Yeah.
not there to do that. They're there for entertainment, and sometimes it's not going to be easy, and that's okay. We saw it with Returnal. They tried to make a very, and now I know it was near impossible, and what they did was definitely outside the box to the point that they had to go back on what they originally wanted to do. But game developers are going to try new things like that, and some of it's going to work, and some of it's not. And I feel like everybody said that Demon Souls and Bloodborne, like, it was all hard because they've never encountered something like that before. So, like, it was like you can just toggle it on and off because the developer gave you that option. Now they don't have that option. So now they actually have to try, and they have to put in effort, and they have to try new things and figure out what works and what doesn't. So it sort of just is what it is. You can't, like I said, you can't expect everybody to hold your hand when you're doing things throughout your life, be it video games or work or whatever's going on in your personal life. So don't shit on a game just because you're not that great at it. And I hope. If God of War comes out this year, I definitely can see Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, and God of War going up for Game of the Year. I definitely think it'll be a tight race to see who actually wins. I think it's mainly going to come down to God of War and Elden Ring. But I'm definitely curious to see if God of War comes out this year, to see who comes out on top, because I feel like those are definitely the two biggest contenders for 2022.
As of now, yeah.
So, now that I feel like Brennan has forgiven me for almost forgetting about Elden Ring, I definitely want to make this point known just because I feel like it is important and I just noticed it. If you are looking at the pricing of Horizon Forbidden West, you will notice that the PS5 copy is $10 more than the PS4 copy. Back in 2020, Sony did announce that there is going to be a $10 markup for some of mainly their exclusive games. They stated that Our own worldwide studio titles will be priced from $49.99 to $69.99 on the PS5. So, unfortunately, that means you're going to have to pay $10 more for those exclusive Sony games, but you sort of also have to understand that they're more so like trying to rationalize it as this extra money is going into the resources that we need to produce these better games for the next gen console. Kind of sort of sucks because, well, is there, like, does this $10 actually make a difference? Is there really more money going into them producing, say, like, Spider-Man Miles Morales than there is in, like, Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Like, where is that $10 going that it actually makes a difference that you can't just charge me $60 for? Maybe one day we'll get an answer to that. And maybe it's just like an exclusive tax. You want to play our exclusive games where you have to charge more for those. I don't know. Honestly, sort of sucks because that's $10 that could be buying me Wendy's for the day. But just letting y'all know, PS5 games, $10 more.
Yeah, I'll stick to PC.
I mean, you could stick to PC and then just play the exclusives a couple years after they come out.
No, I'll probably end up with the PS5 eventually.
I was gonna say, but I, for one, when God of War comes out, I will have that pre-ordered as soon as it opens, if it's not already open. But, again, short episode. We don't really have much to talk about, but thank you all for joining us on our first major episode of the pre-review crew for 2020. Come back next week for a special episode. Well, in like 2 weeks, actually, we'll say. For a special episode, we are going to be talking about the Microsoft acquisition or purchase of Activision Blizzard, what that means for the gaming industry, how that can affect the gaming industry, and what that means for the consumer. We have a special guest coming along as well, so please join us for that when the episode comes out. But on the flip side, we will see you later in our next episode for March of the Pre-Review Crew. We hope that you are having a great day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and we will see you next time. Good night.
Peace.
Bye.